Hi, I'm Candace, and this is Fitness and Harmony's Fill Up on Self-Care Ankle Love today. So we're all united in this quest that we all want to feel better. And it feels right now like we're doing a lot of stopping and starting, like we're not really getting started. So this morning I'm going a little bit slow, so you're going to have to bear with me and wait for me to get ready to do all the things that we do. We're going to be working on our feet and our ankles. So hopefully you've had an opportunity to take a look at what the ankle and the foot looks like. So inside of there, it doesn't look like very much, especially when it's in a sock or a shoe, but inside of there are very intricate bones and connections and a lot of ligaments and tendons and nerves. So the muscles that move the foot, a lot of them originate further up the leg, so we have to take care of the entire chain. I'm suffering right now with a little bit of, I don't know, let's just call it heel pain. I'm not sure what it is. So I'm going to be doing a little bit extra massage and a little bit extra stretching. So we're going to work on that together. So we're going to start and stop and start and stop. So today's practice is going to be a little bit like what we're feeling all around us. Like we're getting started and then we stop. We're getting started and then we stop. Like we're not sure when that wave of good feeling, but we are united. We all come together here, and I'm so happy that we have this time. But remember, the hardest part of everything that we do is this, getting started, especially when you've come to a full stop. So I want to start here. I'm going to come off of my blanket so that I can kind of bring my legs in front of my body and see my feet. Now I'm going to take my socks off so you can see feet, but feel free to leave your socks on. I want you to be able to do this practice anytime you need a little extra care, if you've been doing some extra endurance activity. So take a look down at your feet. If you need to lean back, and just start pointing and flexing. I'll just make a couple of anatomical comments here. There are two muscles running down the back of your calf. One of them is a little bit more responsible for pointing your toe or lifting your heel up when your knee is straight, and the other one for when your knee is bent. So there's two muscles there. The bigger one is this one that looks kind of like, people say, like an apple on the back of your calf muscle. That's the one we typically work on and stretch out and get stronger. Now flex your feet and try this. I'm going to lean a little bit back so I can see my feet pretty well. Invert. Invert is when the sole of your foot turns to look to the inside. Now I just inverted my entire leg, but really we're just trying to move the ankle. Then evert, E, out, is when the sole of the foot is looking out. So see if you can twist your foot in and out. Now take a second to look down and work on this. Wherever you're landing today is the right thing. So anything we're working on today, I want you to slow down and keep moving in the direction of unity. I'm going to pull some things apart so we can look at them, but then we're going to keep coming back together in unity. What we're doing today is movement. I want to kind of curl up and just rest and not really do anything. A lot of times the weather will make me feel that way, but movement is really the medicine that I need. All right, so then if you can reach your foot, reach your foot. I'm going to use the strap to get started. I'm going to loop it around one foot. Loop meaning, one hand and the other like reins of a horse. And then just begin sort of pulling back and forth. Get this action going first. Then move the strap more towards the toes, more towards the top of the ball mounds, right where the toe and the foot meet, so that you can flex your toes back too. So use your muscles to pull your toes back too. Some people can really flex their toes back far, some people can't. But if you can, use the strap to help you in this effort to flex the ankle and to flex at the toes. Then just hold all of that, just hold it. We did a little bit of movement, now we're going to do a little bit of holding. Now slow down and purposely steady your breath. Our goal today is to fill up on self-care. That it feels like we're stopping and starting a lot. So slow your roll so that you can softly land right here. So hopefully this isn't hurting your foot or your hands or crunching into your shoulders. If this isn't too hard, don't pull very hard. That's one of the reasons I'm using a band instead of a strap. A strap, you can get a lot of force if you pull hard, but a band is always going to have this elasticity. Let's go all the way to the other foot now. Remember this, we wrap it around the ball mound and we just start lubricating the ankle. by flexing and pointing. Then I might move the strap a little bit further, a little bit further up to the toes so that my toes will flex back and forth too. So try to get movement in all of the joints. Again, if you had a chance to look at the diagram, there's joints within the foot. I don't know what you call this part of your foot, between the toes and your ankle, that big part. There's joints in there, and they can move too. And usually you're not aware of that until something goes wrong, like everything in our body. Now flex back, hold, flex the toes back, hold, loop the shoulders, 3, 2, and 1. Now just steadily breathe in and breathe out. 2 more times. What stretching does is it eases our discomfort. Living is stressful. It puts pressure on us, and then release. Let's put that aside. Again, what I'm going to purposely do is go from one activity back to another. Come back to the Sukhasana. Hold on to your knees. Extend the spine by rocking the pelvis forward, and then flex the spine by rocking the pelvis backward. Now stir the middle of the body around in circles. So the middle of the body is a hula hoop, and it's moving in the direction of the hula hoop, right? Around and around. I want you to imagine that you're grounding down. So what we just did was an awareness exercise of what's going on in the ankles and the feet and how do we move them. But now we're going more to a feeling state. We're increasing what we call mindfulness. So what are you feeling? And notice that along the way, there's going to be changes in how you feel. Now go the other way. This is an opportunity to create a moment. So yoga requires our full attention. Really pay attention to the movements and the medicine that you're taking in. So maybe I took in too much food or the wrong kind of chemical, who knows? And now my body is having to process that. So we're trusting the process and creating an opportunity. Now hold the extension, rock the pelvis forward, pull the ribs forward, roll the shoulders onto the back. Keep looking kind of forward and a little bit down. Don't let your head rock back. Keep the chin a little down. Hold that. Come back up to a seated pose and then gently rock your head left and right. Do 3 of these. Then we'll come up into hands and knees. And I'm purposely moving you around today because movement, the getting started, we keep coming to a full stop. So hands and knees, spread the fingers out. Turn the toes under. And now if you can, begin lifting your knees and then gently putting them back down. Notice the transition of power, the transition of forces. So you could stay all the way back. I always call this crouching tiger for some reason. Or you could come up and sort of leap a little bit further forward. So notice there's a transition of power, transition of force there. And the Achilles, that's the tendon that connects those 2 big muscles to the heel. The calf, or if you're going forward, the shoulders, the neck and the back are getting more of their share of the stretch and the strengthening here. So all I've asked you to do is sort of try to lift the knees a little and down. You may not be moving or shifting your power at all. Now do 3 breaths. Maybe you're hovering, maybe you still keep going up and down. Then come back to hands and knees. Extend one leg back. Brace around the abdominals. Let's circle that back ankle. So ankle love today. We're going to fill up our cup to ease discomfort, to improve range of motion. And when we've had an injury, and almost all of us have had an ankle or knee injury, I'm pretty sure all of us, that'd be a fair assessment. Flex the foot hard and hold. Really push. You should be able to feel, I feel this is my patient foot. This is my foot that has that feeling. The back of the ankle, the heel there, stretching all the way through the sole of the foot. Now drag the knee in towards the belly and out. Now do this without moving your spine. even without moving your hip. When we've had an injury and then the muscle and the tendons and the ligaments, all that stuff have to heal. They're always getting micro tears. It doesn't have to be a big tear. There's always micro tears. And when you're rebuilding, the little fibers lay down in quite a haphazard, kind of like pick up sticks, you know, that game where everything's crisscrossing in many different diagonals and directions. And we have to move in a prescribed way to encourage those muscle fibers to organize and synchronize. So organize the abdominals, pull them in. Push through the heel and stretch the back of the leg. And then we'll bring that knee down. Try the other side. First extend the leg. Notice the shift of power, right? You just kind of lean, come back towards the center, and then circle the back ankle around. Click and clack. If you look at the diagram, there are a lot of bones in the ankle. It doesn't look quite like what you thought it looked like. In fact, it's the tibia, that's the biggest leg bone of the lower leg, makes up most of the ankle. The end of it is just this big knob thing. Circle the other way. Brace the abdominals, find the side waist and keep them equally long. Now flex the foot hard and hold. Right now, we're stretching through the Achilles and the back of the leg muscles. But in a moment, we start dragging the knee in and out. We're going to start moving those fibers and encouraging them to align along the direction of the force of movement. Here we go. Drag the knee to the belly and stand it back. So in and out without moving the spine. Lubricating the joints, all of the joints along the way, but especially the ones that are flexing and extending. So allow your body now to receive whatever shift in energy is happening. Unclench anything, everything. So kind of like soften and relax into the waves of your practice. 2 more. I know I'm having you do quite a few of these. That's on purpose. To make you have to think about this. Let's come around to a seated pose again. I just want to really build the awareness of the feet and the ankles. Cross one ankle over the other knee. See if you can do that. Now, when I do that, when I really haven't warmed up my hips yet, I'm not comfortable yet. I have to take a second, and what I normally do is I rock side to side. So you could, for this little segment, this few thing, come all the way down and do everything else we're doing is the exact same thing. It's just you're down on your back. As long as you can hear my voice and you can figure out what I'm asking you to do, feel free to stay all the way down either way. Once my hips are now in this pose, so before they were stuck and they weren't in the pose, but now they're okay. See if you can take a hand to your foot. And then just gently rock your foot side to side. So it would be like you're waving to somebody. If it was your hand, you'd be waving to the big toe, little toe side. Our ankle doesn't really move that well, side to side. It doesn't really. And so what happens is when we step on something, like we step off the edge of a curb accidentally, and the foot is forced to do that twisting motion, it tears all the little ligaments in there. And then they build back stronger, which would be a good thing, but many times it builds back a shorter range of motion, meaning you can no longer move your ankle. So now take the front of your foot and paddle it or circle it around. You might be cracking the toes, you might be cracking the bones in the foot, you might be cracking the ankle, you might be stretching the Achilles tendon. Take advantage of all of that. Go a few in one direction and then the other. Then crack back, that is push. So take your hand and push the toes so that they really go back much further than they want it to before, and then flex the foot so that the ankle is turned backward more than it really wanted to. Do 3 slow breaths. Improve the flow. It's like you've got a power tool of your breath. And that ujjayi is pushing into the fibers. And then we'll go all the way to the other side. So you could be all the way up, you could be all the way down, whichever way you want. Try crossing the ankle over. And again, my hip says, well, wait a second. Let me get there. I'm not there yet. Absorb, absorb. Absorb the movement. Let it go muscle fiber to muscle fiber to connective tissue to connective tissue. All right, then use your hand to grab the top of this foot. Just give it a squeeze for a second. Give it a couple of waves side to side. Remember, pinky toe, big toe, side, side. We all are united here. And this is why I'm so glad we get to get together and do this practice together. It's great to do this alone. It's great to have your own practice. There's a big benefit to that. Then circle I'm going to call this the top of the foot, from the ankle to the toe. Circle that around. But when we come together, there's a bigger unity. And the symbol for that in yoga is Anjali Mudra. That hand gesture we do when we say namaste. It represents the unity, that I am connected to this universe and this universe is connected to me, and you and I are both part of the same universe. Let's go to the other direction. You can start moving the ankle about as well. Notice all the muscles of the calf, the shin, and there's muscles down the sides of the lower leg too. They're more cable-like and they wrap around the edges of the bottom of the foot. So there's a lot of muscle there that really you don't see or feel mostly. Now push back. So crack the toes back hard, like if you had really high 6-inch heels, right? Your toes are cracked all the way back. Then push the whole foot back to stretch the back of that Achilles tendon. Hold that for a nice 3 slow, unifying breaths. Remain curious. Remain active. Use the power tool of the breath. And then we'll release and come around into hands and knees again. Remember, I'm purposely flipping you and changing the flow. So we're not just doing one nice, beautiful symphony today. We're mimicking what real life is like. So paddle the tops of the feet into the floor. Get some blood flow there. Then push both tops of the feet down into the floor. Same thing we did before. Remember this where I said lift the knees up and down? Now this might put too much pressure on your shoulders because you really have to shift a little forward. You don't have to, but you're going to. And I want to make sure that your shoulders remain healthy and they're always cared for. Notice what comes up in your practice. Like I ask you to do this pose and you go, what? I'm not able to do that. What do you want from me? And all of a sudden these feelings of, let's say, inadequacy or, I don't know, it's just torturing yourself with thinking things. All right, we're going to make our way all the way up here. So turn the toes under. I've got to move my stuff. Come up into, I'm going to call it downward dog, but I'm going to stay in this crouch for a minute. Remember I said there are 2 muscles on the back of the what we call the calf. There's really 2 muscles there. One is activated and stretched and exercised and strengthened when the knee is bent. One is when the leg is straight. So we're going to play around with bending and straightening the knee in various ankle-loaded positions. But what I want you to do is to recommit to beginning again. Recommit. Notice whether your body weight is rolling towards your big toe or towards your pinky toe. And generally, you want an even roll to the center of your foot, each foot. Keep softening and allowing. Give yourself ample space and grace. So it doesn't matter how much or how little of this you're getting. Keep increasing your mindfulness. Now from here, bend one knee while you straighten the other one. Then reverse. Now be really generous. In fact, I'm not even going to call this downward dog anymore because I'm going to walk my hands a little bit closer to my body. So I don't know what this is. Steeple pose? Something else? Or I could grab my table or chair and do that on a table or chair where I'm stretching stretching, alternately bending one and then straightening one. And see that I'm also going up on my toes and cracking out my foot and my toes. Be generous here. Let your body move. Remember, we're trying to get the medicine into the joints and reorganize. 2 more breaths. Then hang in forward fold, so either walk forward or walk backward. I'm going to spin my heels a little bit out, my toes a little bit in, and hang that way. That's just where I'm feeling I need an extra stretch, is on the outer ankle for me, my peroneal. Use this opportunity right here, right now. Create a moment that's quiet, that's improving your connection to unity. Unity of just your breath. The breath doesn't have to be fancy. We don't have to do whatever ujjayi means. You don't have to do that. Just be more mindful that you're creating a moment. 3. 2. All right, so walking your feet so that you can bend your knees, and then walking your hands up so that you can roll up. Once you come up to standing, face this way, I'd like you to step one leg just about 2 feet back behind you. So not that large warrior that we do, but a small warrior. Is a little warrior. And all I want you to do is balance so that you're on both feet. So notice how much weight's on the front foot, how much weight's on the back foot. Now for a moment, keep the back heel down and keep the foot pointing forward. So I'm going to say like a tightrope, but your feet can be separated, but they're both pointing in the same direction. Now all I want you to do is lift the back heel up and down. Wow, I feel that. Up and down. All right, this is your choice. Play around with leaning into that back foot or leaning more to the front foot, or shifting like a rocking horse forward and back. Either way, what you're doing is noticing where your body weight is landing and organizing the ankles to communicate with each other. Notice my toes come off the floor a lot. I'm looking, my toes come up off the floor. The things you don't notice about yourself until you're actually looking at yourself. My toes come up off the floor a lot. Interesting. All right, that's something for me to know. Now bend both knees, back heel probably going to come up a little, and keep going. So with both knees bent, I don't know what to call this because it just looks funny. Kind of like a slow Tai Chi movement, I guess it would be. You're rocking, you're keeping both knees bent, so get nice here, a slow run. I'm not sure what this is, but we're moving the back ankle and the front ankle and using those other muscles to make sure. Now stay forward, lean forward, hinge a little forward, and keeping your body weight on the front leg, push the back heel down and up. Down and up. Once again, notice whether your back foot wants to roll to the toe, the little toe or the big toe. I forgot their technical names. Little toe and big toe. That's their technical names. Now, hinge a little forward, hold. You're going to have to balance. Here's where you might grab onto your chair. Turn this back foot the wrong way so you're on the tops of your toes. Bend both knees and lean a little bit back onto that back foot. A lot of balance going on, a lot of worrying going on, a lot of stretching on the top of the foot. Remember I said I just lift my toes up a lot, so give this 3 slow breaths. You might see me sometimes just put my palms together in front of my heart, kind of bow, and then switch. Wow. So 1 foot back, maybe just 2 feet. Take that time to organize your feet. And then do a little leaning forward and leaning backward, shifting. I call this rocking horse here. The legs are mostly straight this time. Remember, the hardest part is beginning. So any of these little exercises that I show you, you look at and you go, I don't want to do that. And then we start doing it and you start feeling, you start absorbing the goodness, and you're creating this energy and this medicine. And then I stop you and you say, no, don't stop. I just got started here. So let me do that. Lean forward and then lift and drop this back heel up and down. All right, this foot wants to turn a little bit out. You know, I have to talk to it. So look down and make sure. Now, we all are aligned differently genetically by nature. So don't worry. If there's one that just seems like it's always doing something different, that's part of it. But just build the mental awareness. There's no fixing. There's no perfect alignment. Nobody's perfect. Now, stay forward. Lift the back heel. Now here we go, where we bend both knees and we try that shift. That I called it like the funny running thing, where you're shifting with your knees bent. Get low. You don't have to do this with your arms. I just find it helpful to remind me. I'm good with my arms. I can control my hands and my arms. My legs I have to have a conversation with. Notice where you're shifting your weight to. Remember the power of the breath. Keep starting the breath again and again. Notice how you keep stopping it? See, it's very, very natural. That's the way of things, to start and stop. Continue this journey. Keep supporting yourself. You kind of want to stop this one, right? This one's a little bit harder, isn't it? Lean forward, hold, tip forward. I'm going to brace myself either on the chair or something, and then turn the back foot the wrong way and push down. Bend both knees, kind of stand up, kind of lean back, I guess. So this would be a good time to give yourself ample space and grace. That it's okay that this is hard. It's okay. This is not something you wanted to do, but here you are doing it. And that the movement that you're creating in the ankles is going to benefit the whole chain all the way up to the hips, even to the head. 2, I know you want to stop this. I do too. All right, come all the way up. Wow. Let's make a big star. So, I don't know, maybe turn side, but turn the legs way out. Take a nice 4 foot wide, and then take the arms up in a nice 4 foot. Some of you 5 or 6 foot. For me, just 4 foot. Big star. Spread the fingers out. Bend the knees just a little, not much. Now, a little bit of extension back. A little bit of extension back, not a lot. Just enough. Just kind of breathe in. I'm going to close my eyes because I want to visualize a star radiating out all this energy. So let's say you've been holding it in for months. You've been holding back. You've been doing a lot of hard work. And it feels like you keep getting stopped. Like you're getting somewhere and then something keeps stopping you. So I want you to be this star where you're radiating out from the fingers and the toes and the head and the chest and in every other direction. So I want you to become a multi-dimensional star, a big supernova, exploding with energy. Now, even though everything's stretching out, I want you to now pull all your muscles, contract all your muscles. So make a tight fist. Don't actually move any of the joints. Just squeeze in like you're pulling muscles into bone and then sucking the bone into the center of the body. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Holding that there, move your breath. Inhale, exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Hopefully you're feeling balanced. Your feet are holding you up, your toes, your ankles, and then open your eyes. From here, try shifting onto one leg. Come off that other leg and tip your star over as far or not far as you want. And then just hold. Now see if you can regain. This was that balancing thing I told you. See if you can regain that feeling of being a strong supernova interplanetary star. You're super, super bright. See if you can regain that peace, that trust. You're not falling. I see you. You're not falling. Now, breathe. Use a power tool to continue your commitment to this practice, whatever situation you find yourself, even if you're in this uncomfortable position. And then come back, re-establish star, and then try the other side. So shift a little, balance, lift off, and hinge. So whatever situation you find yourself in, keep supporting yourself. Keep reaffirming your commitment to this practice. This practice within yourself, the unity of mind, body, breath, and spirit within you. But then the commitment to the unity that we all share together here. All you have to do is start. 3 breaths. Nothing fancy. Just keep inviting the breath. 1 more of them. And then come back up. Wow. I felt that in the arms. I'm going to ask you to come to chair pose. So push the hips back, stretch the arms forward, drop the tailbone back and behind you. Do this little, push that back there. Then ski the arms back and behind you and hold. You can spin the arms open or closed, however that feels right with your arms. Balance here, but then try lifting the heels up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now, if you have to hang on, you have to move your arms around, you have to spin your arms like a big windmill, that's okay. Do what you got to do. But practice the balance and strength. 3 breaths. Increase the techniques of creating stillness amid this whirlwind. Bring the heels down. Circle all the way up, stand up. Bring the hands in front of the body, 1 palm facing out, 1 facing in. Interlace the fingertips and then pull. Lift the arms back. If they reach, take them back behind the head and then pull in one direction, lean. Come up. I'm going to switch my hands behind my head. It's going to be like a magic trick. And then the other direction, lean. Notice what's coming up. I'm still breathing from that flying chair pose. That the movement is creating the healing. It may not seem that way. It may just seem like movement. That's what it looks like, just like the spring weather. It just seems like a lot of rain or something. But it's actually creating something else. And then release those arms, shake out and circle the wrists around. We're about to come all the way down. So come down in a safe way. You can come down, through malasana, or you can come down through a lunge. Malasana is like this low squat. That would be really good for your ankles. One way to practice malasana is to hold on to something unmovable. And so you can sit back further and further and then come all the way down. Let's come all the way down to the back. Grab that strap one more time, or the band, whatever you've got. This time we're going to loop the foot. Same thing as before. One leg up. Now pull one so that it twists your foot. Release that. Pull the other so it twists your foot. So use the reins to turn this horse's head side to side. We did a lot of work on the front and the back of the ankle. And those muscles, they're all working together. It's never just one muscle or another one. We want to give equal time to the inner outer ankles because they're usually the ones that really have had the injuries, the itises, the inflammations, the pains, the sprains, the strains. So we're just twisting the foot side to side. And I'm really exaggerating, pulling with one arm and then the other. Feel that. Now pull equally so that it's mostly straight, and just try straightening and bending your knee a couple times. Try to get your foot up high towards your head each time. So that stretch as well. Hold anywhere, just hold. All right, whatever pose you're in, whatever you're doing, I don't care, whatever you're doing. You could be in Shavasana if you want. I want you to close your eyes now and focus on softening. So whether you're actually in Shavasana or you're still in this whatever pose, focus on softening. Listen. Listen. I really haven't stopped moving since we started. So let this be that moment, this opportunity to create a quiet stillness. Continue your journey, but this time without moving. Listen intently and mindfully. Step your mind backward. Stop directing. Listen mindfully. Take a deeper breath in now. As you let it go, then release, and we'll go to the other foot. So switching to the other foot, one leg up, another one down. This is where we pull one rein and then the other rein. Twist. Ankle in, ankle out. The hardest part of today was getting started. The best part is finishing. So we're almost, I know, you're already tasting it. It's like we had a little appetizer there. You're already tasting that when you come to stillness, there's a reward. There's a reward. It feels like a delicious dessert, I guess. So movement is creating that medicine. And that medicine is aligning our energies and our emotional and our physical, all those things. And then pull it back and hold. From here, try bending your knee and straightening. So when you straighten, your foot's trying to go up higher, kick up over your head. You know, you know what to do. Think fancy here. It's just woke up today in an uncomfortable bodysuit. You just woke up and you looked in the mental mirror and you said, why is my bodysuit old and wrinkled and out of fashion this morning? Why does it feel this way? Fancy. We're just taking energy, moving it using the power to hold, just hold. Actually twist. People are really fond of getting a twist in here. Wherever you go, come to stillness now. And notice the difference. Almost everything we did today was a moving, a stirring. It was creating an energy so that we could reorganize something that was knotted up in the wrong. It was like crumpled up in the washer and you had to take cloth. Now firing. So let's take this strap off, hug the knees in. Oh, roll around. Roll around the other way. Give those knees a big hug. And then move into Shavasana, stretch out. Give yourself some grace. The hardest part was the beginning. Now just receive the comfort of the breath. Feel nurtured in your heart. I want you to imagine that your hands are in Anjali Mudra. That's the one where your palms are together in front of your heart like a prayer. And so I'd like you to bow your mind into the heart. Honor that there's a shift towards comfort and ease in your heart. Now soften everywhere, as if every molecule of your body is bowing to your heart. Commit just in this moment to the unity that your heart is creating. Your heart is beating. Your heart is recognizing the beauty that is within you. Now with this power and this newfound comfort and grace that's in your heart, I want you to rise up in your mind, in your body, a feeling that you are rising up to the occasion that you have found yourself in. Wherever you are on today's journey, whatever situation, whatever environment surrounds you, I want you to give yourself the support and the nurturing that you need. And you will rise up. I'd like you now to unify all of your forces, all of your powers. Bring them all together. To one. And this one is just this moment now. Like you're synchronizing. When people say 1, 2, 3, lift, and everyone lifts together. Synchronize and organize all of your body's powers. Those special, magical, mystical, energetic, healing powers. 1, 2, 3. And you rise. And you meet every every situation. Inhale slowly. Exhale. Here's the hard part. Roll to your side. Open your eyes. Press your body up off the floor. Make your way up. Come into an easy pose. Remember, Anjali Mudra is our sign of unity. So we bow to the heart, so the thumbs touch the heart, kind of like this guy right here, this one. And then we inhale and offer all the way up. And then we take from the universe and bring it back into the heart. And then once again, we offer again. I bow to you. Namaste.